Welcome to Dualshock'd, the Brotherhood of Geeks PlayStation podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brett J. Rasmussen, and over here I got my other co-host,
Guru Blaze.
Yeah, what is up, dude?
Just chilling.
Yeah, man. Out. Oh man, how you been doing, Guru Blaze, with everything going on?
Pretty good. Just kind of chilling, gaming, work. Yeah, same old, really.
Yeah, this has become pretty much the new norm. It sucks, but it is.
Yeah.
With us kind of being locked in the house, or like you have to stay in the house, or whatever. It's.
Oh, I still go outside. I mean.
Like you can.
But yeah. Well, the thing is, though, it's like with nowhere to go, like the only, other than walking outside, or something like that, like there isn't really any place that's open that would be worth going.
Yeah.
So it's like even if you could go anywhere you wanted, it wouldn't really matter at this point because where you're gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Which is very true. Yeah. Yeah. But what have you been playing? What have you been doing? I know you've been working, playing some games. What have you been playing?
Well, like for the past 2 days, I just downloaded this game on Steam called Hacknet, which is basically a hacking simulator with really cool music. It's like pretty true to life as far as like what you'd actually be doing, and I just obsessively been playing it.
Oh wow! So Watch Dogs, but not really.
It's what you would actually be doing, like to an extent. Obviously it's not a 1-to-1 to how you'd actually do it because they're not going to teach people that. Yeah. But like it's basically you use a command prompt and a terminal. I mean, it has a graphical user interface that has a lot more fancy stuff than a real life, thing would. But that's because it's a game. But it teaches you. It's all real info, like talking about like how things like firewalls work and how proxies work, and different executables that you have to like hack into different types of ports, like FTP ports and SSH ports, and I'm having a lot of fun. You basically like take on contracts, and the whole story is basically like you get an email from this guy, this like deceased hacker named Bit, who's basically like requesting you or your help to find out like what happened to him or something like that. And you're basically, and then there's other people that you come into contact with in groups. Then you become part of like a hacking group, and it's pretty fun. It's all like text reading and stuff, but it's fun.
That's awesome. That sounds really fun. For me, I have been playing. I've been playing a bit of Destiny 2. That's kind of my go-to game when I'm like, my brain is like tired, but I'm not tired enough to pass out.
It's something mindless that you can play without having to think about it.
So the Guardian Games is the event that's happening right now. So I'm just like, oh, okay. There's a new exotic machine gun in it. So I'm like, I'll get this machine gun. But outside of that, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII. I still
gotta start the remake. Because I've been playing, like, I just started Spider-Man, and then I've been playing Divinity 2 and Dark Souls 1.
Oh, wow, okay. So I've been playing through Final Fantasy VII along with... I've been playing through Final Fantasy VII. No, it's really good. It's really, really good. It's, and... yeah, it's definitely a very good game, and that review will be coming up very soon. But it's a long game, so that review takes a little bit longer than I thought. Yeah, man. 2 discs.
Yep. That's how you know.
But yeah, man. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I've also just been kind of watching. I've also kind of been watching a lot of like movies and like TV shows, like. I went ahead and like kind of like caught up on some Disney movies that I missed out. So like I watched Monsters University, which is it's okay, it's meh, it's there. Onward is great. I actually really liked Onward. Onward has fantastic characters. Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, who play the two brothers, are fantastic. And I finally got a chance to watch Frozen 2.
I still haven't seen Frozen 1.
Frozen 1 is good. Like, I definitely enjoyed Frozen 1. I watched it after the hype was done because it was just everywhere and I couldn't escape it. So,
Sure.
but Frozen 2 is definitely it's definitely a Disney sequel. It's not bad. Was it needed? No, but of course there was going to be one because Frozen has made the most money in like the longest time out of like
Hmm.
a Disney movie.
No doubt.
Um, and it was just like everywhere. But the music in it is really good. The music I got into the unknown stuck in my head. I freaking love that song. Um, like there are the songs in Frozen 2, some of them like don't fit in like Kristoff has a song and it's just a rock ballad, like an 80s rock ballad,
Hmm.
and it's just there and I'm like, why does this style doesn't
I
fit?
mean, I like '80s rock ballads, but yeah, I can see how that wouldn't really fit the.
It's just jarring. I'm like, wait, what? I mean, this isn't a bad song. This is actually a good song, but I'm like, how what? This doesn't fit the style of the
I
movie.
guess the culture of whatever the name of their fictional country is,
Arendelle.
yeah, has developed since the first movie, and they moved into different avenues.
But yeah, no, it's the music in it is great. Just it will it's it's a Disney sequel, but
Right.
yeah. But I don't
I think personally the best Disney sequel I ever saw was Tarzan 2.
really. I would say
Yeah,
Lion
the main
King
one.
2. I would say
Yeah.
Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. Simba's Pride is, in my opinion, the best.
That one I have not seen, but I'll tell you the worst one I've seen was Jungle Book 2. That was awful.
Oh yeah, no, that one's
Like the best description I saw of it for when I because after I watched it I looked it up.
mm-hmm.
And it was like some guy said it has the bare necessities of a sequel.
Yeah, it's oh man,
No,
what?
but you get it. The bare necessities was the main song from the first movie. You know.
Oh God, that's great. I love it. That's
But yeah, I mean, like it was just very bland. Like it wasn't like unwatchable, but it was just very uninteresting.
that
And
like
like, not that I have anything against John Goodman as a voice actor, but he was the voice of Baloo the Bear, and like the original voice of Baloo the Bear just can't be replicated, and nothing will be as good as that. Because I love the
yeah.
first book.
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, that was during a time when Disney was making sequels of like everything. Like they did Atlantis to Milo's Adventure, and that was literally just like, hey, it's a TV. It's we're gonna do an Atlantis TV show, which probably would have done far better. But
Right.
oh man, that was bad. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with. Let's go ahead and get started with what we always begin with. News of the nation! I didn't do that. Was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
Hey! Okay, I thought that was me. I didn't know I could make those sounds.
Yeah, I figure I'd bring some musical culture
look at look
into
at
the
you
film.
having culture, unlike me.
Yeah,
Look at you having culture, unlike me. I'm just, yeah. All
I'm,
right,
I'm a man of culture as well.
there you go. I didn't even know you could play piano or music.
I mean, I can't play like to any great extent, but technically, being able to play the piano is a vague statement because anybody can play a piano if they can push keys. Being able to play well, which is also subjective, but you know what I mean. Like, you know,
Anyone can go ahead and hit keys on the piano, but it
yeah,
takes real skill
I
to
wouldn't be playing.
play the
I wouldn't be
piano.
the guy playing in the mall or something. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I get you. Let's go ahead and begin. So, the first topic I have is that PAX West is still scheduled for September despite the pandemic, the Last of Us virus. So Reed Pop has announced that PAX West will be moving forward as planned from September 4th to September 7th at the Seattle Convention Center, despite the nationwide pandemic we have going on. In a message to attendees, PAX organizers Reed Pop revealed that this year's Seattle event is still being planned for Labor Day, or like Labor Day weekend. The organizers also shared that they are quote optimistic and will continue to carefully monitor the latest developments regarding the Last of Us virus. Reed Pop says that it's working with health officials at all levels of the government and adhering to the guidelines of the CDC and the World Health Organization to ensure that our event is safe, health conscious, and responsible. And yeah, and this is happening. Everything has been postponed or canceled. Like the GDC, E3 has been canceled. South by Southwest has been canceled, so on and so forth. And this article does come from IGN. So what do you think about like PAX West still happening? Still like they're
When
like
is it supposed to happen?
Labor Day weekend, so September 4th to the 7th.
Well, that's still quite some ways off. I think that they're probably like, I mean, because the thing is, they could always cancel it at another time.
Yeah.
So I think that there's nothing wrong with them saying like, it's still going to go on as planned, because that's several months from now, and being optimistic, we would hope that everything would be, at least somewhat back to the way things could be.
Yeah.
That time. So I mean, they could, if things were to get worse or stay the same, or if it became a non-viable option, they still got several months in which they could say like, now we will cancel it because, whatever. It's not something that is close enough where it would be an irresponsible thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, it's like, it has been said that like during the summer, things may get better. Like they're like different states are opening it up at different times.
Different states open at different rates.
there you go. But there are different states that are opening. Like there are some that are opening up now. Like Florida, their beaches are, or people are going to their beaches. Whether you like the like. Your opinion is your opinion. There's a lot of... What sucks about all this is that there's a lot of politics involved in this also, and I wish it wasn't, but there is. But, some states are going to be closed until, like, the end of May, mid-May. But what's kind of... What people are hoping for, the government, the World Health Organization, is that in the summer... Because it'll be warmer, it'll be hotter, it'll be harder for that virus to survive and be around, so it'll die down. But we got to also take that time to really attack it, so that way when winter comes back, we don't have another upsurge, and then we have to reclose everything. So who knows? Hopefully this happens and this continues, because this would be really good. And if PAX West can still happen and still be safe and health conscious and or health conscientious, whatever, we may be able to get some some announcements. This might be like the place where a lot of people will do their big announcements at.
Right.
So that would definitely be very good if we got that. But yeah, let's move on to the next topic. Next topic is that GameStop plans to reopen stores and cut executive salaries. So what they have, GameStop has put out a article themselves stating that they are already reopening stores for the because of the pandemic. And what has happened is that all the stores have been shut down because they have not been deemed essential business, even though they said that they were. And we have talked about this on a past episode of Dualshock'd. But what has happened now is that George Sherman, who is the CEO of GameStop, is reopening the stores, and he plans to do a cut. Pretty much he's taking a 50% pay cut, a temporary 50% cut, with other members of the top executives will be taking a 30% cut temporary 30% cut, and it's 10 to 30%. So yes, in the statement that GameStop has released, I'll just kind of try to quickly go through this. But it starts with George Sherman, GameStop CEO, quote, "As we continue to navigate these unprecedented times, our priority has been and continues to be on the well-being of our employees, customers, and business partners. I'm very proud of the resilience our teams are showing during this time. In very short order, we implemented a temporary curbside pickup process at the majority of our U.S. stores in accordance to state and local ordinances. By using our omni-channel buy online, pick up in-store, and ship from store capabilities, we are able to operate in a safe and regulatory compliant way while meeting the increased demand of our products as more consumers work, learn, and play from home. Importantly, since we closed stores to the public March 22nd through omni-channel fulfillment, we have retained over 90% of our planned sales volumes in 2/3 of our stores that are conducting curbside operations. We believe this speaks to the strength of our enhanced omni-channel capabilities implemented of the fall last year." And then it continues. It goes that temporary base salary reduction, 50% of George Sherman, 30% from Jim Bell, who is the CFO, and the remainder executive leadership team. The board of directors has temporarily reduced cash compensation to directors by 50%. Other actions include that beginning April 26th, certain other employees across the company's worldwide operating units will receive a temporary reduced pay between 10 to 30%. Offered certain of the company's corporate support staff the option to either temporary furlough or reduced work week / reduced pay program. Reduced inventory receipts to match demand with the focus on key hardware, software, and accessories, so like systems, games, and accessories. Lowered capital spending to focus on mandatory maintenance or near-term high-value strategic projects. And then due to the impact of governmental regulations and certain landlord discussions to close properties, the company did not make a portion of certain lease payments and remains in discussions with its landlords regarding the ongoing rent payments, including potential abatement, deferral, or reconstruction of future rents during the period of the pandemic. And then it kind of goes on, and it's a bunch of stuff about how the stores are going to be doing curbside pickup, The entire article will be sourced in the description. Every article is always sourced in the description. So that way, if you want to see the full article, you can go from there. Thirsty. So I mean, again, we've been kind of covering this for a while now because, like, this started, and then they were deemed essential. Like, they said that they were deemed essential businesses because they sell webcams and stuff like that, even though that's only online. And then they got closed down, and so on and so forth. So, like, what is kind of your take on all of this?
Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure the only reason that they really demanded to stay open and then just folded like days after that was so that they could get the Animal Crossing money to help stay afloat.
Oh yeah, like that is. Oh yeah, like
they delayed it as long as they could to make sure that went through, and then immediately were fine with it because it's like they needed that money to basically be able to like shelter the storm, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good look. It's really not a good look. And GameStop continues. Look, I understand why the internet bashes GameStop, and rightfully so. But sometimes I feel like people just bash on GameStop just to bash on GameStop because, hey, it's
like when a bad game comes out and everyone plays it and comments on it. It's the same thing.
Yeah, like
it's just a bandwagon philosophy.
Like for Fallout 70, like for an example, in that analogy, Fallout 76 has been a bad game, and you could watch countless videos of people bashing.
I have heard it's gotten much better.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. It still has problems. Like, it still has its problems. For instance, NPCs. Like, if you die, you leave when you die, you leave your loot behind, so you have to go and grab it, or at least that's what I believe. But what has happened is that NPCs can actually find your body, take your loot, and by doing that, your loot that you have gotten is permanently gone. So there's that kind of thing. But like Fallout 76 came out and everyone bashed on it, and there
Or
are
Anthem.
yeah, and I mean again, and look, we covered Anthem, we reviewed Anthem, and I tried so hard to be optimistic about it. Like I remember everyone, like before the game comes out, everyone's going like, "Oh, look at this game, look at this garbage, it's bad." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can see that, but like, let's see what the game looks like." And then I played it, and we've said so. We've said the good things about it, and I looked at the good things, but there were a lot of bad things about it
Well, yeah,
too.
but like it was pretty much like what everybody was talking about
Oh
it,
yeah,
like
and
the topic.
And like it took a long time. Like when the game first came out, people were bashing it, but but there was a fan base who still sticked with it. They
And even
didn't care.
but then they left because they just basically just didn't ever do anything with it.
Well, that's because, but then that was because EA didn't try to stay behind it and bolster it. Like just be like that's one thing I will say about Bethesda with Fallout 76 is that they've been trying to make it better. Hell, even Hello Games with No Man's Sky. No
Oh,
Man's Sky when it first came out was just an empty shell of a game. It was nothing. And like they were promoting like you could go to any planet and go wherever you want and do whatever you do anything. And it was just a bunch of but now it's full and there's so much to do and it's like it's such a different game compared to how it was when it first came out.
right.
And that's because they sticked with it. And I don't know. Like, look, um, GameStop's saying that they're essential business, and but not getting them saying that they have the supplies, the cleaning supplies for the employees, but it's been reported by multiple employees within stores and other people that they've had to use their own money to get the supplies, but because of how low the supply has been because of the
Right.
pandemic, like it's hard, and like there have been so many problems and so many things.
The world is just full of problems.
It's a problem.
Well, it's me.
um but it's good to see that the higher, like, because all of this is related to the higher ups, like the executives, the higher corporate team, like the CEO is like George Charles
Right.
taking a 50% cut, and so there's that. Them reopening the stores, look, I get it because of like all the health things and all the things that are happening in the world, and should it stay closed because it's not essential business? Yes, like I definitely would say that. But am I happy they're open again? Yes, because like I do shop at GameStop. I do buy stuff at GameStop, and it is
Well, and it's like in addition to the fact that like I still technically work there, no, like and or at least have the like I still like being able to go in and physically look at like pre-owned games and like the experience of like you might find something interesting and it's right there and you can check the disc and
yeah.
it's like I understand that GameStop is becoming increasingly irrelevant, but I still enjoy that kind of experience.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
It's like the same reason that I still wish Blockbuster was around.
yeah. Yeah. No, I get you there. It's just it's always the higher ups. It's always like up in the higher, like the corporate ladder. Like it's always the like
Echelons of business.
yeah. And like look, like I'm a big wrestling guy, and I follow wrestling news also. For instance, WWE has been, and I'll be talking about WWE in a little bit. But WWE has been doing, like, they taped a bunch of shows up to WrestleMania. Then Vince McMahon was worried about his TV contracts with USA and Fox. They were about to do live shows. But then they're only doing weekly tapings now. So, like, every week they record their week, and so Monday Night Raw is live, but NXT and SmackDown and 205 Live are taped, and so on and so forth. AEW has recorded since the pandemic started. They recorded it pretty much all the way up until about beginning of May, mid-May. And now they may have to go either, I've heard is what they're going to be doing is that they're going to be also doing another set of tapings or whatever. And that's really hard. It's really hard to kind of look at that because like people are wrestling and you have to have people, like you have a lot of people, not tons, but you have people in close quarters to each other. So it's this is such a weird time we live in. So back to GameStop, talking about this. Am I happy that the stores are reopened? From a business sense, yes, because then the more business that everyone gets, that's a good thing. But it is also worrying with the health problems, the health aspect that's happening. But again, like Best Buy has been open still, and the way they've been conducting their business has been very well done.
Actually, I went to Best Buy the other day because I needed to buy a new Ethernet cord. Yeah, and like basically I pulled up and they had because they weren't actually you didn't go in, you just pulled up. They had these dividers on the side, kind of like for a line at the rent-a-car place or something.
Yeah.
And you just drive in, and you basically dude comes up, asks you greets you, and asks you what you want, and then you give them your name and phone number. Then they basically call you to confirm what it is you want, and then they just and then you just can pay over the phone, pay with cash, or pay over the phone with your card. Yeah, and they just bring it out to you.
Yeah, no, and
that seems like if it works for me. I do like going into play. I mean, I don't go shopping that much, but it's that's another thing. It's I still do like going into Best Buy if I go there, look around and fucking. But it's a good system. It works.
Yeah.
When I picked up Final Fantasy VII. I was able to go into the store only because I'm an employee, technically. But they basically had the same thing where they would come to the door, or you just call the number of the store, and they would just bring out, what you wanted. But as an employee, but even when I went in, they had me wipe my hands down, and they were wearing gloves. They weren't really making a thing about it either. It was just kind of I get it, whatever. I was just picking my shit up, and I ended up buying 2 more games while I was there because I was like, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of this because I'd been wanting, because I went there to get Final Fantasy VII, my pre-order.
Yeah.
And dude, that other code of mine still doesn't work. I'm kind of salty.
Dang. Okay.
I haven't played the game, but yeah, I tried it numerous times on my phone. And then days it doesn't work, and it's it's whatever though. It's probably not necessary.
Okay, well,
and it's honestly, it's not like I paid any more for the game. So, if I would have had to pay extra for those and then they didn't work, I would be more upset.
Yeah,
but that really isn't the case. So, I got 1 out of the 2. I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I get you, man. Yeah, but look, it's just maybe I just have sympathy for GameStop, some kind of sympathy. It's not a lot. It's only a little. But.
Oh, and yeah, but the thing, and it's speaking from an insider point of view, it's it's a fun job. I mean, granted, it always depends on who your coworkers are, which is any job, but it's a fun place to work, and it's a fun thing to get paid to do. The environment, that you're in, you get to talk about games, all that. But you just, for me at least, and the reason it's not my full-time job is because, the pay is not enough for it to, be the end-all, be-all, Yeah. In addition to the fact that long-term, it's that's not, I'm not going to waste my time working my way up a chain that isn't going to be, held together for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Not to say that, and again, I don't know because they GameStop had that whole thing about trying to leverage their company into kind of like a hangout place, which I think would be kind of like a tier one, basically like just where you just go and play games. And I think that if they did that and sold games, that'd be kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. I'll go ahead and let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Next topic. WWE says that there's going to be no 2K21. I'll just go ahead and continue where we were talking about wrestling. So there has been a tweet put out by WWE Games Twitter account that on Monday, April 27th, they are going to be having details of the future of the WWE 2K franchise, as well as some exciting news on Monday on Monday at 7 a.m. Pacific time. So that would be 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. UK.
You just saved people minutes of Google searching right there.
There you go. We live central, so that would be 9 a.m. Central time.
Right.
But yeah, so what has happened is that pretty much in the first quarter earnings call that WWE had, and there has been a lot of stuff that has happened even during that first quarter earnings call, just to kind of tell people because I follow wrestling and it's something that I love. WWE has released about 40% of their clientele when they didn't need to. They have so much money. They are right now probably the one combat sports company that can get through the pandemic without like getting rid of
still be able to put on a show afterwards, basically.
Yeah, like they're the ones who will not lose, who pretty much would be able to withstand the storm better than All Elite Wrestling, Ring of Honor, New Japan Wrestling, Impact Wrestling.
I've never even heard of New Japan Wrestling, but that sounds interesting.
New Japan is amazing. I'm just and anyone who's a wrestling
because I do know that there is definitely like a Japanese wrestling culture,
and some of the best wrestling of all some of the best wrestling matches I've ever seen has been from New Japan.
Like out of curiosity, like what makes them better? Like are they more violent or are they
it's more the best way I could probably say it is more shoot style. It's more it's strong style. The hits, you are actually hitting your opponent.
Okay. So it's like a martial arts tournament, more like.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and send you a link of a really good match. And there have been Kenny Omega, who's in All Elite Wrestling, came from New Japan. Shinsuke Nakamura, who was in the WWE, came from New Japan.
Who do you think is the best Japanese wrestler?
Ooh, I mean the best Japanese. Ooh, that's a hard one. I would probably say Kota Ibushi. He's really good. I love Kota Ibushi.
What's his gimmick or style?
It's changed. It's the thing is they have gimmicks, but like the Bullet Club. Have you heard of the Bullet Club?
I have not.
No, okay, but the Bullet Club is pretty much the most popular wrestling faction today. Today. It's being headed by I can't even remember. White. Jamal White, I think.
And your guess is better than mine.
I know. I'm aware. But anyway, but back to what I was saying. In this first quarter earnings call, they talked about 2K21, and I'm going to be getting there. But they also they have released a bunch of people from wrestling and from WWE, which they did not need to. And then also know that Linda McMahon Super PAC, who is it's a Trump Super PAC, gave Florida $18.5 million to the state of Florida. That same day when that happened, the Florida's governor stated that any live events So like, and mind you, this would be considered with wrestling, but it's any live event uh, can be done in Florida as long as there's no audience. And the reason that is because WWE's Performance Center which is kind of like not their home base because their headquarters is in Connecticut, but the Performance Center is like their training facility is
Sure.
in Orlando, Florida, and that's where they've been doing all of their shows and tapings since this all has started. There's just the thing is that Vince McMahon and the WWE have been in the mainstream news media ever since this whole they were considered essential business and that they've been recording and everything. Like, this has been not a good look for WWE.
I think there's been a lot of things that haven't been a good look for WWE.
Oh yeah, well that's why I watch it. Well, and again, that's why I watch All Elite Wrestling. That's why
Boycott WWE.
NXT is good, but man, I'm very much All Elite Wrestling. But anyway, but back to video games. When it comes to 2K21, in the earnings call, they said that WWE 2K21 has been canceled. During a Q&A, WWE interim chief financial officer Frank Riddick revealed that there is not going to be a launch of a game this year. When I talked about the 2K title, and this is then confirmed. Later, there were rumors earlier in the year that have been confirmed. Mind you, 2K20, WWE 2K20 is a garbage game. Absolutely garbage. That game actually bricked. Like, it broke when it became January 1st of 2020. The game, 2K20, you couldn't even play the game when it became the year 2020. You've seen all the glitches and everything that like it's been made. Like, there are so many different memes of them. Like, it's everywhere. Where 2K20 is a garbage game. So them saying that there's not going to be a 2K21 is, in my opinion, honestly, a good thing. I'm so okay with it. I do not mind.
Everyone in the world went, okay.
What?
I said, and then everyone in the world just went, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So you're like, I don't follow wrestling. Yeah, I don't care.
Well, I mean, I own one wrestling. I think. Let's see. I have 2K17.
Okay.
And I just to have it, and I play it, and it's like, and I'm not gonna say, like, they're fun to an extent, but it's like, and this probably just comes from the fact that I play so many different, much more technically mechanical fighting games that like it's fun and goofy, but it's like not something I would ever invest serious time in because there really just isn't that much to do in it, and like the combat system isn't like bad, but it's almost too simple for me. Like, there's just not enough nuance to the combat.
No, it's not. And honestly, for me, it's more of it's a simulator where like some of my favorite wrestling games, like No Mercy, Here Comes the Pain, any of the SmackDown versus Raws. God, I love SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah, SmackDown versus Raw, I remember playing a while back. Those are fun.
Because Ukes, who has been developing the WWE games for years, they actually are not. They haven't developed. They actually left in the middle of 2K20. Because of the direction that 2K wanted them to go in, they did not agree with. So they're like, we're working on a different wrestling game. And the rumor is that they could be working on All Elite Wrestling, AEW's video game, which Cody Rhodes, who is one of the vice executives over in AEW, he has stated that they are working on an AEW video game, and it is being developed, but it's going to take longer because they want this game to be good. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. You take your time. If I don't get one this year, that's fine. Even if I don't get it next year, I would like to get it next year because you guys have been around for almost 2 years, but like, I'll wait. And when that game comes out and it's good, and the reason is because Kenny Omega, who is another vice executive there also, he loves the No Mercy, the Aki engine, which was used in No Mercy. And he's kind of very much going like, we want this game. We want the No Mercy engine on our AEW video game. And I'm like, if you do that, I'm in. I'm here. Let's go. So that would be awesome.
No doubt.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on. Battlefield 5 is not going to be receiving any more major content updates after this summer. They're in a blog post from EA Dice. It has been announced that there will be a new update this summer after the conclusion of its current chapter, Into the Jungle, which was themed around the Pacific Theater. That chapter is set to end April 29th. And then, pretty much after Chapter 7 expansion, there will be just some new content. There's not going to be another chapter. Like, pretty much after, they're just going to do new content, new weapons, game tweaks, and then after that, they're done. They are not doing anything else. Like, there has been a tweet that has been said that someone asked, is like, I hope that I understand this right. So you say the game won't be expanded at all after the summer. The game will receive no new maps, weapons, factions after that. In Battlefield 5, answers correct, and we'll have more details what's included in the summer update closer to that time.
Right.
So pretty much after this, they're just done. They're just like, the EA is like, all right, we're doing it to here. We're dropping it, moving on. Like, that's it. What do you think of that?
Sorry, say that one more time.
So after this next content update in the summer, so like in the next few months, there's going to be a content update.
Battlefield?
In Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5.
Well, I don't play Battlefield, but I think that, as long as it's been out, like, I don't think that's, like, it's not a bad idea. Like, they probably, if anything, like, they'll probably put into it what they think it needs to just be a standalone game. Because maybe, and this could be, maybe they're coming out with something else and they need to focus their manpower on a different project. So they're just going to basically be putting that out and saying we're not going to be doing anything else with this game.
Mm-hmm.
And they may be working on something else.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, again, like, EA is very much, when they say they want to have it be, again, it's EA. They leave things. If it doesn't work, they leave it. Like, Battlefield 5 was a messed up game. It got a lot of flack from a lot of different ends. Like, Battlefield 5 was not good. There was a lot of problems with it. The relaunch was a mess. Hey, like, Spectre has been boycotting EA because of this game. So yeah, it's just, again, I'm not surprised, but it does suck about that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, next topic. Let's move on. Next topic. Guerrilla is planning a Horizon Zero Dawn trilogy. There have been plans for the next-gen sequel to indicates gigantic scope and co-op mode for Horizon Zero Dawn 2. This is coming from Video Game Chronicle, VGC. Almost said it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple sources have told the VGC that Sony Interactive has greenlit ambitious plans to Horizon Zero Dawn's sequel, which of course they would, because it's been named. It has been named 2017's Game of the Year from multiple outlets. That was my Game of the Year in 2017. Like, it's a fantastic game. Pretty much, Horizon Zero Dawn is a post-apocalyptic world where kind of the world has been reset. Big, huge, gigantic robotic animals are now, like, roaming the world. And it's such a different game, but so good. I'm so happy with what Guerrilla has done with Horizon Zero Dawn after Killzone. But they got critical and commercial success after it. But what has been said is that they have started development soon after the first game's success back in 2017. So they pretty much went like, all right, a few months, or maybe like when it came out, it made all the sales. A few months in, they were like, all right, number 2, here we go. And now that's what they've been working on. The development has now entirely shifted to focus on Sony's next gen console, which is the PS5, which is good. It is said to be gigantic in scope, with a larger game world and more freedom to explore it than its predecessor. People with knowledge of the game also indicated the inclusion of a co op feature, although it's not clear if this is delivered through the main story or a different mode. At one point, Guerrilla was planning to release a standalone co op game preview, with progress carrying over to the latter, a full version of Zero Dawn 2. One person involved told VGC, however, it's not clear if those plans are still in place. A co-op is a feature that Guerrilla has long intended to introduce into Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's understood that PlayStation was equally keen to see online functionality implemented into the sequel. A co-op feature was initially planned for the first game, but was ultimately scrapped so the development team could focus on other areas of the game. There is a Zero Dawn concept art that leaked back in 2014, verified by VGC. It even shows initial plans to have multiple players battle the game's huge mechanical beasts, kind of maybe like raids. Guerrilla's work on the sequel has been suggested by a series of job advertisements, which mention open world gaming game featuring quests and creatures. They even made reference to PS5's innovative controller could impact gameplay in Horizon. System architect Mark Cerny and CEO Jim Ryan have said the DualSense's adaptive triggers will help players feel the tension of their actions, like when drawing a bow to shoot an arrow, which is what you do. You do a lot in Horizon.
Oh, no doubt.
In 2017, PlayStation America's then president Sean Layden confirmed Horizon Zero Dawn was a franchise that the platform holder intended to leverage in the future. Guerrilla's co-founder Herman Hulst has got a keen mind on where he wants to take Horizon and where the roadmap is, and that roadmap is expressed in multiple years. A quote from Herman that Sean Layden has told to the Telegraph. I think we'll be in the Horizons business for a long time, and the Telegraph is another publication. According to Hulst, who was recently promoted to the head of PlayStation's worldwide studios, Sony remains highly committed to the creation of story and character-based games, which is good for me as a PlayStation fan.
Oh, absolutely.
Initially, internally it's felt that these types of experiences ideally complement the blockbuster multiplayer games that are favored by the third-party publishers. And Sony recently said that the PS5 is still planned to launch later in 2020, although the media report that as we have talked before on this show, there could be a limited stock of PS5s. So what do you think of this? Are you excited for Horizon Zero Dawn 2?
Yeah, no doubt. I still got to beat the first one, but it's a phenomenal game, and I'm sure the second one will be something else. I have no doubt that they'll up the ante.
Like, I love Horizon Zero Dawn. That was like came out in 2017, and it was pretty much between that game and Zelda Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Some places gave it to Zelda, other places gave it to Horizon. Horizon, it was such an amazing game.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And it looked good. It had a good story. The mechanics were great.
Oh yeah, and Guerrilla.
Good.
Oh, the Guerrilla developed a whole new engine on Horizon, and it's actually the Decima engine, and it's the same engine that's used in Death Stranding. Because Kojima saw the work, and he's like, I want to use that, and so him and Guerrilla helped each other.
When Hideo Kojima says, "Can I use your engine?" you say yes. It's like that when one of the most prolific game developers that ever lived just hey, I like that. You mind if I borrow it? Yes, Kojima-san.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Kojima-senpai. Yes. But again, it being bigger in scope, that of course it's going to be. The co-op is I'm kind of co-op mode in Horizon. That I can kind of see. That would honestly, I could see that kind of being like Monster Hunter World
Oh yeah,
esque.
it would be that would be
Like,
oh. I mean, like I could it wouldn't. They would just have to find ways to be able to like make working together more beneficial, or have maybe something along the lines of dual melee attacks, or like just having two. I mean, yeah, like kind of like you could set it up like you said, like Monster Hunter, or it would be something like Army of Two. You
yeah,
basically you're both just like operating on a split screen level,
yeah,
or online. Obviously,
mm-hmm,
I think that would be dope.
yeah, that would be rad.
Like the amount of tactics you could employ with that comp with and there's no doubt going to be even more depth to the combat, and what you're able to do, skill trees and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone like even if you were to do it now, let's say like one of your teammate ropes them down while you're firing on them, and like you can divide roles. That'd be fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That would definitely be good. But yeah, I'm excited. Honestly, I actually really do hope that if Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is a launch title, if Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is a launch title, that would be amazing. Because right now for Xbox, we know that Xbox is doing right now, I believe for their launch lineup, we know is Halo Infinite and Hellblade 2. Two very good games that even for me as a PlayStation fan, I'm looking over there and I'm like, ooh,
It's like that. No, it's
ooh.
like the meme of the picture of the dude with his girlfriend looking back at the chick in the dress.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. But like it's like I love like I will say what it's kind of made me go, okay, yeah, is I love that DualSense controller, and I think you and I have talked about this. Um the DualSense controller, and I just need to know what games we're going to be getting. The reason, and again, it's the reason why I'm still gravitating towards PlayStation is just the future of what games we're going to be getting, like God of War 2, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, the next set of Uncharted, like it would be like Uncharted blank.
Yeah,
Last of Us Part 2 will most likely get ported over to the PS5. So on and so forth. Other exclusives, other things. So it's more of the future of what we don't know is what I'm excited for.
sure.
But it would Horizon Zero Dawn 2 would be a fantastic launch title to go with the PS5. That would, I think, be a good like here is our one of our AAA marquee franchises to launch with the system. That would be really good. Um, so yeah. Well, I think that's all the news. Should we go on to our main topic?
I believe that would be poignant. Yes.
Beautiful. All right. Well, let's go ahead. This is our PlayStation conversation.
PlayStation
We have been locked up and cooped up. Well, not locked up, but like can't really go outside. Stay at home shelter or stay at home order, whatever.
Well, like I said earlier, you can go out, but there's really nowhere to go.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like you go get food and fill up your car with gas because it's $1 per gallon, and that's about it. So when it comes like video gaming has become massive right now, and
Well, I mean, it's been massive, but it's like
no,
it's been increased exponentially.
oh yeah, and like you and I talked about physical versus digital because of this.
I would love if there was somehow a way to get a statistic on how many like people like picked up gaming like brand new from like never having gamed at all to being a game player like after this event. That would be interesting to know.
Well, I will definitely say like Fortnite, like this has helped Nintendo massively because
Yeah, dude, Switch sales are fucking skyrocketing.
like and people picked up it was like that and Animal Crossing, and like
Yeah.
there have been a lot of people, even including myself, like mind you, I picked it up to kind of like play it and see it, but like Animal Crossing is such a I've never played Animal Crossing, so I'm very much part of the people who've never tried it and played it, and it's so different, it's so in a good way, like it's such a different game, and I'm not used to like play like all what you're doing is that you just make whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. There is no do this, do that, do this, do that. It's just all right. Here you go, dropped in. Here you go, do whatever. So
Right.
there's that. But we're all kind of staying inside the house, so we wanted to talk about our backlog, kind of the games that we kind of have been playing, want to play, games we haven't gotten to, stuff like that. So I know for myself, like I actually went ahead. I have a bunch of games that I pulled from my collection right here. That I'm like, ooh, I'm going to go ahead and get to this, or games that I think that I've played, but I would definitely say would be worth playing during this like pandemic, where hey, you're stuck inside the house, try out these games, that kind of thing. So first game that I want to go ahead and talk about is Uncharted Lost Legacy. Uncharted Lost Legacy is it's a spin-off game from Uncharted. You play as Chloe and Nadine so it's the kind of like side characters from Uncharted 2 and 4. Very good game, very good story. Again, it's more Uncharted, but it's such a good game. And this is the Steelbook that I bought. I bought it for it. I'm very much a Steelbook fan. So I collect Steelbooks, so that's why this does not look like the cover. It looks like this, but yeah. But yeah, Uncharted Lost Legacy. It's such a good game. It doesn't follow. It's still part of the lore and part of that world, but it's not about Nathan Drake.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. You're talking about Lost Legacy, right?
Yeah, Lost Legacy. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, are you still going?
Yeah, sure. I'll just go through what I got. So another one is Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. That's another game. This is a fighting game that I love. I'm a big Power Rangers fan. And this is very much, it feels like a Capcom versus Marvel style of game. This Steelbook actually came from Limited Run, so thank you, Limited Run. Love it. I love Limited Run. I love their stuff. I buy their physical games all the time. But Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is a fun fighting game. It's not as in-depth as like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, but it's still very fun. And they keep adding characters to it through season passes, and they have characters from like the comics. Like they have the Mastodon Sentry from the comic. They have the Ranger Slayer from the comic in there too, which is awesome. Lord Draken, which is like probably the best villain from the comics, and probably one of the best villains in Power Rangers lore. In it, so like, and you can play as other characters. There's you can play as the Red Ranger. You can play as Tommy. You can play. There's so many different Rangers and villains you can play as. You can play as Goldar. You can play as Lord Zed. So there's that too. Now, probably my favorite fighting game is Injustice. I love Injustice, and Injustice 2 is probably my favorite. I absolutely love Injustice 2. I played this game. This is the fighting game that I would want to play with my friends. If I have to choose one fighting game where I'm like, this is my favorite, it's Injustice 2. I love Injustice 2. Absolutely great. It's made by the guys in Mortal Kombat, NetherRealm. But it's a very different game compared to Mortal Kombat. It has the same like button inputs that you have to do. But it doesn't have fatalities. It has clashes, and instead of X-rays, it has supers, like that kind of thing. So
yeah,
I love Injustice 2. Another good indie game that I got is Guacamelee. This game it's very much a side scroller, like almost like a castle, like a Metroidvania kind of game. Guacamelee is very, very good, and this is the 2-pack, so Guacamelee 1 and 2. Very, very good. I definitely recommend Guacamelee 1 and 2 to anyone and everyone. It's such a good indie game that came out forever ago, and I played the first one and played the second one. Couldn't stop playing it. So much fun. For this game, Shadow of Colossus, this is the remake remaster. Like, my God, this generation has done so many like fantastic almost remakes. Like, we've got like, and this is probably like one of the like kind of the first ones, one of them. Shadow of Colossus is the remake of the PS2, that game that got ported to the PS3. Feels so different to all of them. Not only does it look graphically beautiful, but just the gameplay mechanics have been tightened, and everything. Like, this is such a good game, and this is a lot of people's like greatest game of all time, if not among the top 10 video games in all of time. And I would agree. This is definitely top 10 for me. Shadow of Colossus is such a good, different game.
Yeah, I have the Steelbook remake. It's a phenomenal game.
Yep, and that's actually what I got too. That's what I have in my hand too. It's the
It's
special
one of the
edition.
the only Steelbooks I have are Shadow of the Colossus, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Dead or Alive 6.
Oh, nice.
Generally, I'm like a middle of the road, like when it comes to editions, and it really depends on the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like $10, $20 more and I get like a bunch of extras with it, then I'll spring for it. But it's like I've never bought any $100+ edition of anything. I know that you have several of those, and like those are cool, and I get it. But it's just like I don't think I'm ever into a game enough to spend that much money on it.
I get you. No, I understand. That's fine. And hey, please chime in, Guru Blaze, if when I'm talking about a video game. If you want to go ahead and discuss any of the video games that I would recommend.
I played Guacamelee a little bit. I played a demo of it. It was fun.
Okay, all right. You play Injustice?
Yeah, Injustice is good because it's just less gory Mortal Kombat with DC characters is what it is.
Yeah.
And I like Mortal Kombat, and I don't own the Injustice games, which I should, but I've played both of them, and they're both phenomenal fighters, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. So you did play Power Rangers also?
That I have not played.
Okay. Yeah, no,
I remember you getting that, but no, I have never played it.
Yeah, no, I love Power Rangers. It's something that I love. So when I saw they made a fighting game, which I've played the one mobile game I've spent time with is Power Rangers Legacy Wars on my phone, and Battle for the Grid is just a better actual fighting game of that. So.
Okay.
Yeah. The next one I'm going to go to is A Way Out. A Way Out is one of EA's games where I will applaud this game.
You know that game always looked interesting, and I kind of just forgot about it until you just said it again. But yeah, that I did want to play that because of the co-op aspect.
And like the co-op aspect is mandatory. It is not I can play it single player or co-op. No, in order to play this game, you have to play this with someone else. Mind you, the good thing is that you can invite someone into the game to play it with you. So like if you can go ahead and download. There's a friend pass free trial from the store, and it's completely free. And then you can download it, or if you get another copy, which this is somewhat cheap. I don't know if it's still in printing or not, but A Way Out is such a good. It's so artistic with how it's done, and the story is great. The best way I can put it is that for the story, it's just Prison Break the video game. That's what it is. But it's so much fun. It's so good. If you want something like different and a bit more artsy, A Way Out is awesome. So for you, you haven't played A Way Out, have you?
No, I have not.
Okay, so I would definitely. Hey, if you get A Way Out, I'll definitely play A Way Out with you, man.
No doubt.
So for the next one is I got kind of these two. It's the Assassin's Creed Ezio collection, So, and I only pulled this out because this is the apex of Assassin's Creed. You get Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations, which those are like in my opinion, the three best Assassin's Creed video games, and Brotherhood is the best one, hands down, in the entire franchise. Um, but everyone knows that. So, like, if you want three games in one, the Ezio collection is fantastic. But one game that not a lot of people talk about, but I love this game as actually Assassin's Creed Rogue. I absolutely love Rogue. Rogue, you actually play as a Templar, the bad guy. You actually play as Shay McCormack, who used to be an assassin but defects to the Templars. And it's during what was it? I want to make sure I'm saying this timeline because it happens before the Civil War. I believe it's like the North Indian War. It's the war that kind of starts the American Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it after? I can't remember. But Assassin's Creed Rogue is just, if you liked Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, it's more of that, but fine. It's more of that, but with a little bit more features, and you play as a bad guy. Absolutely loved it. It's great. I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, so that's why I had to throw that in there.
No doubt.
You and I believe, have talked about this. Days Gone.
I still have yet to play it.
Oh, you have yet to play it. Okay, then maybe that was with Spectre. But Days Gone is very much a very good, solid game. This is a game that I would play in this kind of interim that we're in right now. Mind you, I will definitely say for like this month, there's so many like good games that are like Persona 5 Royal came out earlier this month. Predator Hunting Grounds has just come out. Doom Eternal has come out. Resident Evil 3, Final Fantasy 7. So like this month, there's so much stuff that came out. But if you're trying to find a game and you don't know what to play and you're looking for like a good solid game, Days Gone is very good. It's another post-apocalyptic zombie-esque game. And the story is fine. The story is not bad. Could be better, but it's not bad. But really, if you want, we have a review up on the channel. So if you want to check it out, it is an episode of Dualshock'd, so it is the main topic of one of our episodes. But we kind of really digging deep on Days Gone. But kind of just to kind of recap it, it's very much, the story is great, is good, but the characters is what drives the game forward, especially Deacon St. John, who is voiced by Sam Witwer. He's fantastic. I love Sam Witwer. He very much does a fantastic job leading the game and pushing it forward. Gameplay is fun, especially when you fight the hordes. That was the best part. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I didn't do it with Spectre. I actually did it with Sodium Bromide, one of our guests. So, yeah, but go check out go ahead and check out our review on it if you want more information on it. You should definitely check out. I'm like listing games that you should check out, Guru Blaze.
Yeah, well, I got so many of my own games I still have yet to check out that I've already paid for. Nah. But I mean, for me, like I said earlier, very recently I've been playing a lot of Hacknet. I've been playing Katana Zero recently. I've been getting farther into Dark Souls Remastered, which I've been liking a lot. So I've been playing that. Mm-hmm. I've been playing some Divinity Original Sin 2. Let's see. I recently I thought I had beat One Finger Death Punch 2, and then like I actually beat it because I got to like, after you get through like the mapped levels, you go through this like random pachinko machine level generator, and that goes up to only a certain number, and I beat that and got this crazy video with like stock images photoshopped in. It was ridiculous. Like, it's definitely something I recommend and didn't expect.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
mean, I do have a few more over here. Like.
I mean, I'm looking at my games right now. Like, I've got games I've yet to even start. Like, I have Nier, the first one for
Ooh.
360, which I haven't started. I still got to beat. Here's a quick list of games that I've played a huge amount of or a good chunk of and still have yet to beat. So,
Well, I mean, mind you, just to let you know before you go on, Nier is getting remastered to the PS4. Just to let you know.
oh well, there you go.
There you go. So just.
So, I'm playing the first Mass Effect, Deadly Premonition, Army of Two, Devil's Cartel, Shadow of War, Fallout 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, Far Cry 5, Evil Within 2, Devil May Cry 5, Nier Automata. Let's see here. Skyrim.
Ooh, good.
And what do we got? Oh, I haven't even started Resident Evil 2 Remake. I'm still playing Sekiro. I'm on the tail end of Bloodborne. I'm playing through, like I said, Dark Souls. I started Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Nice.
I'm on Sinking City. I still got to beat Valkyria Chronicles, Mutant Road to Eden. Let's see, Monster Hunter World. I'm trying to think because of this. Oh, and I'm also playing through Bioshock 2, which I haven't beaten prior, and I'm on Uncharted 3 and downloaded 4, which I also still have to play.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, those are definitely a different list of games.
And Persona 5 as well.
There you go. Oh man, you could spend tons of time in just in Persona by itself.
Dude, I have enough media to literally like last me for years.
Oh, I get you there.
If I just didn't buy a single thing, I'd still have years worth of shit to play through.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, just kind of like finish off my list is so I have Darksiders Genesis.
I'm playing Baldur's Gate 1, which I'm playing.
There you go. But yeah, Darksiders Genesis is very good. Very much a solid 3 out of 5 game. Finished it, beat it, platinumed it. Yeah, it's a solid 3 out of 5 game. Like, there's a few glitches. If you are a fan of, I would definitely say this is definitely for people who are a fan of Darksiders. If you haven't played a Darksiders game, it is fun if you like that Diablo-esque, that top-down dungeon crawling kind of game.
I do like that with certain games. Like, that's what Baldur's Gate is like.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a fun game, but I'm a bit biased because I do like Darksiders.
I can't wait for Baldur's Gate 3.
Ooh, yeah, I saw that.
Because it's being made by Larian, like the people who made Divinity, and it looks, oh my god, dude, I'm so ready for that.
Oh, yeah. Another one is Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. It's a spin-off from the Dishonored franchise.
Actually, my girlfriend's favorite game series is Dishonored. She's all about that.
Yeah, so this is pretty much about the Outsider. You play as Billy Lurk, who is one of Dunwall's most notorious killers for hire. Reunited with your old mentor, the legendary assassin Dodd, you undertake the greatest assassination ever conceived, the killing of the Outsider, a godlike figure, as you venture deep into the grimiest corners of Karnica to uncover the mystery of the Outsider and his origins. You will face deadly opposition to ancient powers and face difficult decisions that will forever change the world around you. I just read it off the back, but that's okay. I haven't played this in a very long time. But, very good. This is a very good game. Dishonored is very, very good.
I mean, I beat the first Dishonored, and I played a little bit of the second one, but yeah, they're both phenomenal.
The next 3 that I have, again, these are very much no-brainers. Last of Us remastered. This is the.
Oh, I've beaten that twice.
Yep. So if you're excited for Last of Us Part 2 and you haven't played Last of Us 1, this is a must-buy. It is so good, so good. Oh man, top 10 games I've ever played. As of course, we've talked about it before in the episode about Horizon Zero Dawn. If you haven't played this, definitely worth getting. And then, honestly, probably my favorite game on the system itself is God of War 2018. Game, like, perfect, like, 5 out of 5, perfect game. Oh, man, it's so good. If you've never played a God of War game, and you play this, you won't get lost. But there's enough in this for people who are massive God of War fans like me. There's still so much in here that that gives you more. Like again, it's if you've never played it, you're playing the game through the eyes of Atreus. If you have played God of War before, then you're seeing it through the eyes of Kratos. It's such a good game. I love this game. Medieval. Medieval is another game I highly recommend. It's a remaster. It's another one of those AAA remasters like Crash Bandicoot,
Oh,
like
and I still
Skyrim.
haven't started Wolfenstein 2. I still that's the
Ooh,
other one I forgot.
that's another one. But yeah, Medieval is very good. It very much plays like its 90, I believe 96 counterpart. So if you like, and that's for good, for best and for worse. It very much plays like a game from the 90s. It plays like itself. Just it's much more. It's been finessed and it's much easier to control. The graphics look amazing. Um, Spectre loves this game. Spectre loves this game. Spectre could go on and on talking about Medieval. You have mentioned it before, but I've brought it up myself. But Monster Hunter World.
Oh yeah,
this is the,
that's a phenomenal game,
yeah.
especially since you can play it online.
Oh yeah. This is
Like
the
that's like one of the only games I would like play online. Like I go out because I usually don't play games online that much.
mm-hmm.
But not because I have anything against it, but usually that's just not where my interests lie. But it's like that game. That is the kind of game I want to play online.
Oh, most definitely. Um, this is such a great, fantastic game. Definitely recommend it. And then, if you want a good story-based game, my favorite Telltale game is Tales from the Borderlands. I love Tales from the Borderlands. It is probably my favorite Telltale game out of all of them, because I love Borderlands, but it has that charm of Borderlands, all the jokes, and the ending is fantastic, and it did a thing that Brett loves most, which is big, huge robots fighting big, huge monsters like Power Rangers.
There you go.
So, but yeah, I mean, this is just a few. I mean, mind you, that's still a lot, but those are some of the few games that I would probably recommend if you have.
Well, and any of the ones I mentioned as well. But you know what I think is going to be fun, and you can do this too if you want, but mine will take less time than you. But I'm going to quick because I'm looking right at them. I'm going to rapid fire through every game I can see right now.
Oh God!
You ready?
Here we go.
Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, Mortal Kombat 11, Dead or Alive 6, Far Cry 5, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Fallout 4, FIFA 14, Madden 16, Mortal Kombat XL, NBA 2K16, NHL 15, Shadow of the Colossus, Shadow of War, Soul Calibur 6, Neo, WWE 2K17, UFC 1, Need for Speed Payback, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Halo 3, Halo 4, Lost Odyssey, Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3, Samurai Showdown Sen, Army of Two, Devil's Cartel, Deadly Premonition, Kingdom Hearts 2, Def Jam, Fight for New York, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Mario Kart Double Dash, Evil Within 2, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Devil May Cry 5, Nier Automata, Bloodborne, Last of Us 2 Remastered, Little Nightmares, Kingdom Hearts 3, Rocket League, Blaze Blue Continuum Shift Extend, The Darkness 2, Dark Sector, Devil May Cry DMC, Skyrim, Far Cry 3, Gears of War 3, King of Fighters 14, Left 4 Dead 2, Condemned, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, Afro Samurai, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 Combo, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Mortal Kombat 9, Naruto Shippuden Ninja Storm Ultimate Ninja Revolution, NBA Jam, Nier, Ninja Gaiden 2, Mirror's Edge, Red Dead Redemption, Skate 3, SSX, Burnout, Revenge, Spider-Man, which is borrowed, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Divinity Original Sin 2, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 1, Wolfenstein 2, Dragon Quest 11, Slay the Spire, God Eater 3, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Persona 5, NBA 2K19, Sinking City, XCOM, Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, Mutant Road to Eden, Akaragami, Tekken 7, Warriors Orochi 4, Monster Hunter World, Pure Chess, Samurai Warriors 4, Soul Calibur 3, Splinter Cell Blacklist, Soul Calibur 5, Warriors Orochi 2, Gears of War 1, SSX 3, WrestleMania X8 for the GameCube, Gran Turismo 3, Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, Splinter Cell 1, Pokemon Coliseum, God of War 1, Slugfest 06, Animal Crossing for GameCube, Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, Soul Calibur 2, James Bond, Nightfire, True Crime, Streets of LA, Predator, Concrete Jungle, Ratchet and Clank, the first one, Warriors Orochi 1, World Tour, and Tony's Hawk Pro Skater 4.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 is a good game to end on. That's
those are, and that was GameCube. I also have Chrono Cross for PS1. But wow. PS2.
I can't even go ahead and go through the list of games that I just have. I had to
yeah, and I know because it's like mine would have been like a decent amount, but I know that you've got like 3 times as much as I do.
Oh yeah, maybe even 4. Maybe even 4. But that's because I'm a collector. But from the list, pretty much the whole gist of this is that if you have a backlog, now is the perfect time to go ahead and get into the backlog of games that you maybe haven't gotten.
Because that's like I agree, because like one of the things is like you'll buy a game. Like I have several games, not a lot, but a couple that I get to even start.
Yeah.
And like you'll be playing games that you've been playing or the ones you decided, but then like it'll be like you already have it and it's starting a completely new experience from the get-go that you can get sucked into.
Yeah. Exactly. And that way you can kind of catch up on your backlog. And yes, I understand that this month specifically, tons of good games have come out, especially, and almost all of them have been Game of the Year contenders. Almost all of them. We'll see about Predator, but right now, like all of them are Game of the Year contenders this month. But next month in May, there's not a lot coming out because Last of Us Part 2 and Iron Man VR have been pushed back. While I know that Last of Us is a big one, but they're PlayStation is pushing Iron Man VR, and me as a VR fan, I definitely was looking forward to it, but they've been pushed back indefinitely, so we'll see whenever those will come out. So in May, you're gonna have a lot of time. Like honestly, I don't really see anything big coming out for a while. Honestly, until like September. Because September, I believe, is Cyberpunk and Avengers, which apparently Avengers may be getting microtransactions. Which I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised. It's only because we know of the ESRB ratings for that game. But yeah, I mean, like out of all the games that I have kind of listed. Check them out. Like, and again, they're all kind of different. For me, if it was me out of the
I just there's so many types of games that I like to play that like that's why I have such a like all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many different and it depends on what mood I'm in. Like I want to play a fighter or tactical like Souls based kind of game or like an XCOM or Persona where I just kind of have that experience, but a little bit more relaxed because it's not like everything is like based upon turns.
Yeah, I mean, out of my list of games, probably what I would like where to start, I would probably recommend Days Gone or Uncharted Lost Legacy. Those are 2 very good games. I have listed like some go-tos like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, and Last of Us. But there's again, go into your backlog. Go try out a different game. Now is the best time. Like if all you do is play the normal NBA or Call of Duty or whatever, try something else. Try something else out new. And if you don't want to because you're very competitive or if like that's just the game you like to, there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. Go and continue playing your favorite game that you keep playing. And even for me, I go back into Destiny every so often because it's a game I can turn my brain off. That's totally fine. But there are other people out there, maybe you guys play very competitively in a very specific game. That's fine too. All we're here to do is we're just throwing out suggestions to you of games that maybe you haven't heard of or maybe you have heard of but you don't know. Whatever. Like we just kind of wanted to kind of let you know of like what's on our backlog, what we want to go ahead and play or have played and want to recommend to you. Guru Blaze, what would kind of maybe be a good game to kind of like be like, I want to play a game I haven't played before or something in my backlog? What would be a good game to like?
Are you talking about me personally or like just a game that I recommend?
Like a recommendation.
If I had to recommend right now, I'd say play Dark Souls Remastered.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's phenomenal. And if you want a less like fast-paced experience, I highly recommend XCOM 2.
Okay, there you
Because I
go.
love XCOM.
Yeah,
It's tactical strategy. It has movement. Like it's not because turn-based like Persona or a Final Fantasy is also fun for me. But
mm-hmm.
that one you're moving people around. It's like playing a board game almost, but with a
Yeah,
lot more to it.
yeah. No, I get you there. And if you're playing Dark Souls, if you can get the trilogy, get the Dark Souls trilogy. You get all of them. Even though Dark Souls 2 is like bad, or at least that's what I've been told. You still get all of them. You get Dark Souls 1 and 3, and you can play 2 and see how bad it is for yourself.
No doubt.
So, but yeah. Anything else on that topic? Blah, blah, blah. I almost called you Spectre. I'm wrong. You're Guru Blaze.
I can be whoever I want to be, and that's what makes me dangerous.
No, that is true. That is very true, Guru Blaze. But yeah, like, do you have any other recommendations or anything else to kind of talk about
I highly
backlogs?
recommend Hacknet. It's probably one of the most immersive gaming. As simple as it is one of the most immersive gaming experiences I've had because it just makes you feel like if you have any interest in kind of like the thinking that goes into like because I'm not like an actual like I have some web experience when I was going
Mm-hmm.
for graphics.
Yeah.
And I know some of the lingo, and I did learn some of the languages, but I don't know, and I didn't use them enough to like have them down pat.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it makes you feel like you're like a high profile hacker, like just like helping. It's interesting. The
Nice.
music is great. So I highly recommend that. And then Dark Souls 1 and Slay the Spire because I love the card-based roguelike aspect of Slay the Spire and it's a very fun time sink and you can just easily just pour hours into it without even thinking about it.
Nice, nice. Well, guys, please let us know what you guys think, what games you are playing right now, what kind of games you have in your backlog that you may want to get to in this kind of time where we're just have to stay inside the house. Please let us know in the comments, talk to us, let us know. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that. We always appreciate that. And also press the bell icon. That way, whenever we put up a video, you know we put up a video. And then also you can follow us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/The Brotherhood of Geeks. You can also follow us on Twitter at Dualshock'd, B-O-G. That's the name of our PlayStation podcast, Dualshock'd, B-O-G. And they can also follow us on Twitch when we stream at twitch.tv/Brotherhood of Geeks. Woo! All right. So, yeah, I mean, this is not bad. I mean, not a lot of news, but like we got to talk about kind of some games that we've been playing or kind of games we want to get into or whatever, man. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like when I die and someone looks through my PlayStation library with not even because I didn't even mention all the digital games I've not even played that
I don't want to even get into that. Like, oh boy.
and I don't have it in front of me, so I mean I would just but like they're just gonna be like, wow, what a cultured individual.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. Or like how some of my friends have said is like, look at all of this crap. Why do you have all this? And I'm like, well, because I collect them and I like these things.
Right.
But
Like
that's
like your estate sale is just gonna be a bunch of fucking like 13-year-olds or something. Just trying to like auction off for all your games.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, but yeah. So but again, there's so many games that you can jump into, and there's so many good ones. There's also a lot of bad ones, but what we recommended are games that you will definitely enjoy.
But you can
Because we
still
enjoyed
have
them.
a good time playing a bad game with
Oh
the
yeah,
right
oh yeah,
set.
most definitely, most definitely. But yeah, I think that is it. So please go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe. All right, well, thank you so much, guys. I'm Brett J. Rasmussen,
I'm Guru Blaze.
and as always, live to play, play together. We'll see you guys next time.